In the waning dusk of a war-torn landscape beneath a sky bruised by ash and hope alike, the heroes once again etched their names into the marrow of fate. The dark-souled tyrants Foliatina Rugosa and Rigoria Fandana, two of the dreaded six, lay broken beneath blade and spell, their reigns snuffed like guttering candles. Three foes remained, shadows yet unshattered, Azo Grumush, Foskachazzisk, and the elusive Silas Drakewind. Within the dragon-forged halls of Albaran, Nathandash Carolon, golden-scaled and iron-willed, held a feast to mark the cleansing of Argonia, the unification of the scattered dragonborn clans, and the champion's mighty triumph. Long tables groaned beneath meat spiced with fire-leaf, casks of chunky beer foamed with froth, and music from bone flutes and drake horns reverberated like a living storm. At the heart of this revelry stood Cryos, scarred and silver-eyed, voice like steel dragged across stone. He raised his goblet, and with words forged of resolve and reverence, stirred even the most hardened warriors to tears and laughter.
Huzzah!
There were games and contests, a dancing flame of camaraderie rekindled, and prizes, chief among them an alchemical jug whose contents reeked of loam and death, a beast in a bottle that stirred uneasily when shaken. Amid the laughter and spilled mead, Varus, somber-eyed and secretive, claimed more than a prize that night, for he shared a whispered moment with Nathandash that would ripple through the coming storm. But celebration breeds only the briefest reprieve. The hunt would now continue across the Great Sea to the continent of Western, where whispers spoke of Thos-Chasusk, the machine mind hiding amid the Black Spine Mountains. Aboard their airship, a week passed as the heavens unrolled like a tapestry of stars. Chavis, ever the sentinel, prayed daily to Tyr, god of justice, and walked the decks, greeting all that he passed, even the same face 3 times over. Petra soared in circles above the vessel, wings slicing the mist, eyes ever watchful, her silence a cold flame. When not scouting, she communed with the Raven Queen, asking of shadows and banished kin. Torbid, ever the paradox of prayer and profanity, sought Helm's guidance while smoking the pungent wares of Jack. He practiced throwing his hammer with spectral guardians swirling about it like a god's entourage, declaring every strike badass with glee. Cryos, ever the tactician, moved among the crew like fire through frost, speaking of war, of strategy, and darkly of turning the Ravenites into living firebombs to rain upon Golgoth's armies. Block listened, frowned, and turned away. Bahamut, whispering through Rogar's transmuted axe, spoke too, words of warning in draconic tongues. Fiziwitz, reborn from sleep akin to death, stumbled from his cabin like a man returned from the afterlife, gaunt and dazed, his memories hazy, his voice slow, yet with each day he regained strength, piecing together the shattered past. Varus remained in silence. He did not speak except to Locke and Jack. The others he avoided, spending his hours deep in trance, whispering prayers to Hor, god of vengeance. In that silence, something grew. The ship itself changed too. Locke, forever the Tinkerer, birds from Genius the EChem-W, element-changing automatic mana weapon, smaller than his Cannon-born kin, but deadlier. Meanwhile, Jack had fallen into carnal distractions, his newfound mate slowing his production of vital ship resources, such as the toll of love and war. However, on the 7th morning, joy gave way to cold stillness. Lyra Leaf Whisper was found dead in her cabin, eyes open, lips blackened. No spell revealed her killer, nor poison left a trace. A mistake, perhaps, a deadly plant misused in potion craft. Yet doubts lingered. With reverence, they laid it to rest at sea. The ships glided silently in the skies. They arrived in Blythe, jewel of the southern kingdom of Cade and Western, just before sunset. Amid cobbled streets and spice-choked markets, life throbbed as if the world beyond its gates were not aflame. Jarvis, righteous and ever-inquisitive, questioned the dock workers about fair wages, but was interrupted by a voice from the past. The rare as Nore, known once as Boob Swain, embraced him with barked laughter. I recognized that ship the moment it cut the horizon with its silhouette, she said. The last ship I built before I fled Calantia, and if memory serves, you still owe me half its worth. In the leaky barrel, amid tankers and tales, the group remembered the fallen, Terran most of all. Durere drank to her memory, eyes misted with old moss. When questioned of Thosk, she knew not the name, but spoke of red glows haunting the Black Spine peaks. Whole villages vanished. Fear held the mountains in its grip. A deal's a deal, she said at last, collecting her 50 years late payment, even if it is from dead legends. The party followed the fisher routes, eyes fixed on the horizon. At last, a glow, red as demon's blood, flickering beyond the black spines. Their ship lifted into the clouds. There, amid jagged peaks and ashen skies, they found it, a tower blacker than night, pulsing with malevolent light. Automatons patrolled like ants on rusted trails. Kryos ordered the descent. Varus, grim-faced, led them into the earth. What they beheld within the tower were a wall of gears, pistons hissing, chains rattling, oil ran like blood. In the center of the chamber, a hatch was open, and inside, the firelight of a molten lake below. A chain spanned the void. Varus leapt. Grasping the chain, he vanished into the heat. Petra followed without a word. One by one, the rest descended, swinging on the chain, carrying them across the forge. And there they found it, the machine heart, Thosk's factory. They rode the chain all the way to the center of the factory, where they found him, Thosk Ichazdisk, a twisting thing of metal and sinuous fibers, fingers thick as quarterstaffs, eyes twin red orbs of madness. He spoke in binary tones, twitching with joy. His gesture suggested that all will die and serve Golgoth. Then, the New World Order. The battle with Thosk shattered the chamber. Gears turned deadly. Saws sang. Giant limbs rose from hidden vaults. Thosk vanished into shadow as these hulking titans awoke. The party fled, chased by monsters wrought from steel and hate. They leapt to the chain to escape, soaring through the heat and ruin. At one point, Busy Wits lost his grasp. Petra had to dive down and catch him before he fell into lava's embrace. Above, the tower groaned. The machine mind below had stirred the world. Locke retrieved them in fire and fury, barely escaping as the machines opened fire. From the skies, they saw the horror. Weston burned. Cities fell. The megalithic machines awoke, just as in the forge below. Towers collapsed. Mountains split. Blythe was no more. The second apocalypse wrought not by gods, but by the one they had failed to kill. Amid the ruinous defeat, they fled northward, not knowing where to go or what to do. And then Petra dreamt. The Raven Queen appeared, her cloak black as void, her voice soft as grave wind.
And here, where snow falls upon the bones of giants, that is where your path leads. Your kin await, Petra, but more. Thosk, Ezel, Silas, and beyond them, the moon gate of Golgoth, the gate to the astral moon. There you shall face what lies behind all puppets and plagues.
Kryos, deep in study and driven by grief, performed a ritual none dared to attempt. The spell, wish, a single use, perhaps the only one he would ever cast in his lifetime, for the magic that granted it threatened to unravel reality itself. He spoke only one phrase.
Bring back my brother Rogar!
The winds fell still. From the ether a form took shape, scales shining, breath heaving. Rogar stood whole again, drawn from beyond the veil of death. Joy lit Kryos' face, but sorrow lingered on Rogar's. I'm grateful, he said quietly, but Flimp, I killed him, and that doesn't vanish with life returned. The northern winds howled like mourning wolves. Snow lashed their faces as they descended near a secluded village of Antir, roofed in ice, wrapped in silence. Doors slammed shut as the heroes approached. Eyes peered from shadows. None spoke. Petra, frantic, tore through the snow, and there, beneath a tree, once sacred, now twisted with blackened bark, she found her parents' home. Her mother answered the door with sunken eyes. Inside, her father lay wheezing, breath labored. The miasma, her mother whispered, it flows from the mountains. It kills us, slowly. When asked of the three, Thosk, Ezel, and Silas, her mother shook her head, but she mentioned another stranger coming into town. The centaur, twisted and thin, eyes maddened. He spoke of an elf, a search not unlike their own. He went north, towards the ridges, where the dead walk now. And so north they went. The snow turned gray, the sky bled red. Below them, Undead shambled, thousands, silent and purposeful. And there, across the peaks, a spire. Not of this world, ethereal, shimmering like a mirage. Seraph Zun. As they neared the cursed tower, a light broke through the mists. One by one, the heroes were taken, swept into divine communion. Each stood before their gods. Tyr, Helm, Hor, Bahamut, the Raven Queen. They spoke not just as deities, but as forces balancing the scales of existence.
The chaos Golgoth has unleashed cannot be allowed to spread. You are our vessels. Take this boon. May it double your strength, sharpen your minds, embolden your hearts.
Each hero returned changed. Power surged in them. Arcane might, divine flame. Martial precision sharpened to near divine levels. Together they turned their gaze toward the tower. Not forged by mortal hands. The hollow spire rose like a wound in the land, clawing into the heavens, its walls wet black ichor, its spires shimmered with unholy light. The very stones stank of betrayal, injustice, and decay. It was the antithesis of all that lived, and yet within, nestled like a parasite in the heart of a dying god, pulsed a portal. It radiated dread, an altar of despair to the Lord of Annihilation. The spire called to every dead thing, every cursed breath ever uttered. It was here the final reckoning would begin.